Imagine, if you will, a vast ship adrift in the open ocean, at the mercy of shifting currents and fickle winds. Aboard, passengers in a frenzy shout conflicting orders, each pointing in a different direction, while the true navigator who has studied the stars, deciphered the winds, and understands the sea's mysteries remains ignored. Accused of arrogance for refusing to bow to the majority's clamor. This powerful allegory, crafted by Plato in his monumental work The Republic, symbolizes what democracy represented in his eyes. Not a conscious regime of freedom, but a collective illusion, a dangerous theater of uninformed opinions where everyone wants to command, yet few truly know where they are heading. Plato does not weave his critique from a place of power hunger or gratuitous elitism, but from a genuine concern for the fate of cities and humanity. To him, democracy guided by opinion rather than knowledge becomes fertile ground for moral and institutional corruption. He observes that when popularity, not competence, becomes the criterion for power, politics degenerates into a spectacle of vanities, fickle passions, and emotional manipulation. The result? Ignorant, seduced by easy speeches and hollow promises, ascend to power not through merit but by applause. True wisdom is scorned, dismissed as dreamers' extravagance, or worse, as a threat to the majority's illusory freedom. The ship allegory, found in Book VI of the Republic, is only one layer of a deeper critique. Plato saw democracy not merely as an ineffective regime, but as the antechamber of tyranny. In Book VIII, he precisely describes how unbridled freedom, unrestrained by reason, inevitably leads to disorder, which in turn begs for a strong leader. This leader first appears as savior, defender of the oppressed, herald of popular justice. Yet once in power, he reveals his true nature. A tyrant who uses force to subjugate what he once claimed to protect in freedom his name. Plato anticipates what political science scholars centuries later would confirm. Unrestrained populism, fueled by emotionally manipulated masses, paves the way for authoritarian regimes. The issue, he argues, is not freedom itself, but the collective inability to wield it responsibly and with discernment. Without an education that forges critical ethical citizens versed in the art of governance, democracy becomes an arena where emotion trumps reason. Politicians cease being public servants and become manipulators, demagogues who, with sweet words and facile promises, win hearts while steering the city toward ruin. The philosopher, central and tragic in this drama, is ridiculed. His love for truth mistaken for arrogance. His pursuit of the common good seen as detachment from reality. Meanwhile, the mass manipulator dazzles, enchants, and prevails. Plato challenges us with a sharp, timeless question. What happens when everyone has a voice, but no one is willing to listen? When unfettered freedom ignores the foundations of civilization itself, it transforms into license-guarding institutions and clearing the path for authoritarianism. Plato proposes a radical alternative. Kalipolis. The city governed by philosopher-kings, men and women whose souls have been shaped by decades of study, contemplation, and self-denial. By his logic, only those who do not seek power are worthy to hold it. Politics, he argues, should be a science, not a popularity contest. This suggestion, of course, raises modern objections. How do we prevent philosopher-kings from becoming tyrants? Plato's answer lies in philosophy's essence. The true philosopher loves knowledge, justice, and truth, not glory or dominance. Plato's critique of democracy remains a powerful intellectual provocation today, not as an endorsement of authoritarianism, but as a warning. A democracy without education, without love of knowledge, without ethical commitment to the common good, is destined to self-destruct. And now, at the end of this reflection, I leave you with an invitation that goes beyond a simple click. If, at any moment in this video, your thinking was challenged, if these ideas shook your convictions, stirred unease, or even a hint of intellectual discomfort, then you are part of that small circle who still care about the real meaning of politics, philosophy, and public life. So I invite you, subscribe to this channel. Here, together, we will continue to explore the great dilemmas that span centuries, the reflections that disturb, and the questions most prefer to avoid. If you value critical thinking, aren't afraid to challenge convention, and wish to be part of a space that honors deep reflection. Click the subscribe button, activate notifications, and walk with me through the next philosophical journeys. Because in the end, perhaps the greatest tragedy of all is living on autopilot, without ever questioning where we're really headed. See you in the next video.